Okay, so this is a good morning to give you guys an update on the rose arbor. I have a climbing rose strawberry hill that I planted. This is its third year, and if you watched my original pruning video, I was trying to figure out how to prune a third year rose, and there is not a lot out there. There's a lot out there on mature roses and how to cut it back if it's overgrown and how to do maintenance every year. But for the third year, when you first start pruning it, I didn't really feel like I got a lot of good answers. So I just did what I thought I needed to do, and I trained the canes in the S shape all the way up so I get blooms from the bottom to the top. And I wanted to give you a little update. It is mid to late June, about June 18th today. And I wanted to give you an update on what it looks like. So stay tuned. So here we are early spring, and take a look. It's starting to put out its lateral shoots. Another week later, all the lateral canes are really starting to shoot up. Looks promising. I'm getting really excited. I cannot wait to see this. And I hope they kind of bloom like, I don't know if I want them to bloom all at once, but I definitely want to see this colored. Like, I want this covered in roses. I mean, that is the whole point of growing these stupid things up the arbor. Let's see it happen, man. Let's make it work. I want that magazine pretty arbor with the roses. And I know I'll never get the magazine pretty, but I want pretty darn close. Such a beautiful morning. So here, I'm going to show you the inside if the sun angle doesn't absolutely destroy it. But I had to put some string up top because there's nothing between this bar and the top of the arbor. So I just put some of that brown jute string there just to hold some of the roses if they get heavy, which is sort of what's happening. But yeah, so this is my wall of roses. And it's been going off for a little bit now. Still have a lot of buds that are yet to open, but they're sort of opening at their own pace. Like here's a whole bunch of buds that if they were open, this would not have this sort of green gap in the center here. But there are buds there. It's just interesting how they're opening at different times. But look at this, all the different varying pinks, like from the time it opens in that vibrant, just tropical pink color to when it's fading and you get this beautiful, completely open light pink rose. So there are a little bit of gaps in this, at the bottom. There's still buds, you can see there, and look, there's like tons of buds there. So it's interesting. It's growing. This is like, it's beautiful. Like my vision of having this arbor covered in roses is starting. I mean, look at that. If you actually look from this angle, I'd say maybe 75% of it is visible from the front, but it is blooming all the way up. And I have some buds that are just starting to open here. And there's only one cane on the front here. There's some there. So I'll get a video of when those open just so we can see what it looks like and maybe pretend that it's entirely engulfed in roses. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy. I mean, the pruning definitely worked. I mean, those lateral side shoots definitely produced a ton of blooms. And you can see where those buds were produced. It's just really like fascinating, and there's more buds to come. So I'm gonna like sort of film this at a couple different angles and different times, and we'll see. Check this out. Can you guys see all these birds on that arbor? Aren't they beautiful? And I'm surprised that they're there because they're usually a little skittish, but it's a beautiful morning and they're like, yep, we're gonna hang out here. So yeah, so there's an update. About 2 weeks after the first rose opened, And you know what? I'm pretty happy. I mean, it's starting. It is absolutely starting to do what I want it to do. So I'm pretty happy about that. Well, lots of roses, but they are not a fan of heavy rain. They were standing up. I will have to take some string. Oh no, look, we had pretty heavy storms, but look, it's like they're definitely a little tortured today, but they're still in bloom. I'm still enjoying a nice flush, and if you see, they're starting to open on this end. I have some on the inside. So yeah, I mean, this is a little beat up after the storm, but looks gorgeous, I think. So here we are, a little cleaned up from the rainstorm and deadheaded pretty much everything that had been open for a while. Still have some beauties open today. Look at that. So pretty. Still have a gap here though. It's kind of weird. There are some buds like up a little bit toward the top. You can see them. But there is a gap there. So what I did, I sent David Austin's customer service a message, and I said, is this typically what happens for mature roses, like where I'll get these gaps if I train the canes right, or being this is a 3-year rose, will it fill in? And they actually responded to me that this would fill in. And they said what you can do is if you have gaps like this one where you got no blooms or very few buds, to train the canes that grow up from this year, the lateral canes, to keep one that's pretty thick as a main cane and actually use it in that area to promote bloom. So I would train the lateral cane up to that area to fill in the gap, because otherwise, I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous. And I definitely got blooms everywhere. There's more coming here. And this is, you know, it grew to the top of the arbor last year, but this top area is all brand new. So I expect that to fill in and to go farther next year. But I'm definitely happy with the way it looks. It's starting to do really good things, but I definitely have to address this area. So I will take one of these canes that's growing up off of the main canes that I chose, and whichever one is the thickest and I can get into that area to train it and fill it in, I'll do that. So that was their advice, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And yeah, so, you know, I would say that this is like a great 3rd year, but definitely have some work and some, I don't know, some reworking to do just to make it look how I wanted. Because I also asked if I should add a 2nd rose to this arbor to really make it full, and they said it wasn't necessary. So I'm super excited about that, but that means I still have some, I still have to be patient, which is not always easy for me. But anyway, I'm happy. I did, so we're about 75% up the arbor, and then I expect next year that I'll actually have all that fullness in that top 25% that's sort of missing right now. So that completes my update for the Climbing Rose Strawberry Hill from David Austin. I still love it. I'm still thrilled. This is like an amazing first 3 years. I'm excited to see what the next year brings, and I'm certainly gonna try and get this trained even better for next year.